Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Six Figure Systems podcast. Today, I have a special episode for you all about 30 lessons that I did to make 300K in the first 3 quarters of this year. So, this is really going to be a jam-packed, valuable episode. When I started my business just 4 years ago, back in August of 2020, I had no idea that my business would grow so quickly. And I want this to happen for each and every one of you as well. I think all-time revenue, I'm now at $650,000 over the past 4 years. And before October hit, in the first 3 quarters of this year, I made $301,000. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of these. I was thinking about this. I have been doing a bunch of travel, as I'm sure you guys have seen, going to Asheville, which sending relief their way. But I went to Asheville before the hurricane hit. And then I also went to Rome the week after that. I am going to be in Africa in the next 2 weeks, which is going to be amazing. And then going to Disney. And I want you to know that this is possible for you, even if you're going on trips, even if you have stuff going on in your life, that creating a business that can maintain the structure is truly possible for you. And so that's why I'm sharing these 30 lessons. And I think it's going to be insanely helpful for you too. However, before I get into that, I wanted to let you know that enrollment for the Six Figure Systems Mastermind is coming up. And I know that this is such an important quarter of the year for you. We are in the fourth quarter, heading into the end of 2024, starting 2025. And I know that this is a pivotal time for you and your business. This is usually the biggest quarter I have for the year. And it is so important for you to be locked in and get things ready for your business to grow when there are holidays coming on, when there are lots of trips and things that might be happening. And I know that these systems will help you stay consistent, even if your schedule is inconsistent. So, I want to give you a couple details about that before I get into these lessons. So, when we are doing enrollment is going to be closing November 10th. I want you to mark that on your calendar if you are thinking about joining. And within the mastermind, you are going to get one-on-one call with me where we're going to craft your six-figure offer. So as soon as you sign up, we are going to be able to get that call. And then instead of just jumping right into the coaching calls during the week, I'm actually going to guide you and teach you every single one of the signature six-figure systems during what is now called Systems Week. So for the week of November 18th through November 23rd, you are going to meet with me live every single day, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. till 11 p.m. or 11 a.m., not p.m. And you are going to get a different system every single day. So this is something new that I incorporated in this last round of the mastermind, and it was insanely successful. So what we're going to do is on Monday, the 18th, you are going to learn how to make a six-figure offer. And we're also going to go over the structure to coach yourself, make sure you're ready for the rest of the mastermind. And then from there on Tuesday, we're going to go over how to sell. We're going to do marketing on Tuesday. That will be on the 19th. Then on Wednesday, we're going to go over sales. Thursday, we're going to talk all about managing leads. You're going to get the spreadsheet. You're going to have all those things to check in. And then last but not least, you're going to go over planning and how to create your financial tracker and your six-figure systems formula as the mastermind goes on Friday. So after that week, you're going to have some time over Thanksgiving, if that you are in the US, to really like take those and implement it, get started with it. And then we'll be starting up with our weekly calls on December 4th. Every week, you're going to have a call from 11 to 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. And that is going to go all the way through May of next year. So you're going to have me all the way through the end of the fourth quarter in 2024. And then in the first quarter, you're going to have me for the whole first quarter and almost all of the second quarter. So really exciting things coming. I want to make sure that you know about that, are marking some dates on your calendar. And within that, I am also doing a webinar called the 8 Hour Work Week webinar. That is going to be on Monday, November 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure if you have any questions, you bring it there, and I will answer any and all questions you have about how I have been able to scale my business to this lovely 300K in the first 3 months of this year, along with being able to have an 8-hour work week and have the work-life balance that I was looking for. So definitely make sure you're looking out for that. If you are not on my email list or are getting emails from me, make sure you message me and I will help you get on there. And within the mastermind, it I think the last thing I had to add for you is that it's 850 a month if you want to do the payment plan, or you can just pay 5K pay in full. Either way, I know that you're going to be looking back in May of 2025 just feeling so ready after you get all these systems. And that leads me into what these systems have allowed me to create in the past 4 years. Now, for the first 2 years of my business in 2020 and 2021, I was part time and I didn't have these systems and I was working way harder than I needed to. And then in 2022, I really figured out these systems. It was my first year full, and that is the year that I was able to scale to 120K. The year after, it was 156K. And this year, I am already at 300K. So, pretty amazing what you can do. And I'm going to tell you the 30 things and the 30 lessons that I learned within this year, and honestly, an accumulation of the past 4 years that will help you to create your 6-figure structure and help you scale to multiple 6 figures. So, with that being said, as I list every single one of these, I think one of the things that has also been a really key portion of my growth has been whenever I listen to a podcast, whenever I'm investing in a program, whenever I'm thinking about my business as a whole, I always think big picture. So every single coaching call I'm on, no matter whether I invested 5K or 25K, I was like, I'm going to get 5K worth of value just from this call. And I want you to start thinking like that. And I want you to think about, okay, how can the things that Megan is teaching me on this podcast help me make 6 figures? And what shifts can I make literally like this week? I don't care when you listen to this podcast, but I want you to start applying this and making sure that your business is actually growing from listening to this podcast. I want you to feel like this is the learning that I need to do for the week to help me scale and grow. So, the way that I've broken this up is obviously because I am a coach. The first thing I want to speak to is the development that I've had to do within my self concept, within my mindset to grow my confidence to be a multiple 6-figure earner. And I've got some lessons from that. Then I also want to talk to you about how to really think about your sales and your revenue growth. Then we'll be talking about marketing and lead generation. You know, that's like one of my favorite things. Then, of course, we're going to be going into systems and productivity. And another really key piece is the last key piece is going to be thinking about your client's experience and retention. So, that being said, here are the 30 lessons. So, the first thing is about mindset and personal growth. For me, when I was thinking about building my 6-figure business, I one of the biggest and most challenging things for me was understanding that my belief drives my results. So for me, I was a elementary school teacher making $40,000 a year just 4 years ago in 2020. And for me to have the self concept of making 40K in a year to 4 years later getting close to 400K in a year, I'm at like 360 for my 12-month revenue. I needed to really believe in myself and my ability to change. So for me, I needed every single day to think about my offer, 6-figure systems. And when I was doing general life coaching, thinking about my general life coaching and thinking about how that gives people so much value. I would find 5 reasons why my offer is worth the investment for my program. So 5 reasons why 6-figure systems is worth set 5K. And I would think about that every single day. I sold myself on the idea and I know how valuable it is. And so if anyone is thinking about it, it's so innate. It's such a belief in me that my confidence drove my sales. It helped me show up in a strong and powerful way for you all in public, and I was able to attract the right clients that helped me to grow my business. So that's the first thing. I want you to work on your belief to drive your results. The second piece is I want you to think about staying consistent even when you don't see immediate results. During that first year in 2020 to 2021, I did not get a consult for 7 months from October to April. And it was extremely stressful to continue to post, but I did not stop posting consistently. There were times when I wouldn't post like throughout the week, exactly every single day. But I still got to post out every single week. And I want you to know that the results will compound over time. That's why the rule of 90 exists. You want to be thinking about how, if I'm taking action today, how is that is going to be benefit my business 3 months from now. So I want you to think about that rule of 90, the 90 days, and keep that longevity in mind. The next lesson is about failing forward. I realized that every single time that you're going to make mistakes in your business. You're going to do things wrong. It is a part of the experience. But the more that I learned from every experience and grew from it, I got lessons that helped me grow and get better every single time. And so I want you to think about for any struggle you're experiencing, how can you use it as something that's for you instead of against you? Lesson four is getting comfortable with discomfort. You guys, I have so many, like, I actually have a lot of social anxiety when I'm thinking about putting myself out there on social media. It was incredibly uncomfortable. And every single time I do something to get more visible, whether it's being a guest on a podcast or doing a webinar, it is extremely vulnerable and it doesn't feel good. I think a lot of times we think that if things feel bad, it's a sign to stop. And what I want to offer is that the more comfortable you can be in this discomfort, knowing that it's not a bad sign, it's not a sign that something's gone wrong, it means that you're growing and pushing yourself to the next level. One of the things that I also found is that the lesson five is prioritizing self care. So, especially this is something I learned a lot this year. One of the things I don't think people realize is they glamorize, okay, I'm going to have all these coaching clients one on one, and then I'm going to start a group and it's going to be great. And it has been great. But within this year, I've been coaching around 26 to 28 hours a week, which is a fair amount. And then I have the 8 hour work week on top of it. So I'm still working like 36 hours a week. But when you are coaching, you are on. You are like presenting, you're thinking about solutions for your clients. And so I want you to think about your brain needing time to recharge. And this is a lesson I've learned recently. And thinking about my business as a whole, planning in time. And it's not like self care. Like, I'm not talking about like doing a face mask. I'm talking about literally like sometimes I just need to like lay on the couch and close my eyes or drive to the gym in silence just to give my brain time and space to think. I have done probably the least amount of consumption of content this year because I just need time for my brain to recharge and then be ready to serve. So I want you to think about like how can you fit in time to make sure that you're recharging your brain, allowing yourself to reset, and then moving forward. It'll also help you have the energy to serve your clients better too. Lesson six is that imposter syndrome never really goes away. There are always pieces of you that might not always feel super secure, and you just need to learn how to manage it. One of the things that I've been doing this year is thinking about how within my business, there's always going to be room for growth. And our brain likes to focus on the gap of, man, my business could be here versus the gain of how far we've come. And so one of the things that I like to think about is shifting my mindset from like, instead of this is horrible and I need to go now, I need to just struggle to make my business good, to think about, okay, my business is already really good. I've brought in a ton of people. I've helped a ton of people. My clients are getting insane results. Like this past round of the mastermind, because we did systems week in the first month, 7 of 10 people already had a consult and 6 signed a client already, month one. So I'm like, yes, there is room for growth. There's definitely room for things to get better. And this is good enough to help people right now. If I don't get out there and tell people that six figure systems exist, it is going to hurt their businesses. And I know it sounds dramatic, but that helps me get out of the imposter syndrome and being like in these perfectionist tendencies where I'm like, oh, this could be better. I need to like make it better before I offer this to clients and think about them and being like, yes, of course it could be better, but right now is good enough to get them where they need to go. And then I'll work on making it better. Lesson 7 is you don't need to know everything before you start. This is a huge, huge thing that I see so many people trying to wait and make sure they know everything before they get started. One of the things that I have found is so important is taking messy action and imperfect action from it being good enough right now and it getting clearer over time. So many times, like when I started this mastermind, six figure systems, I called it the business fulfillment mastermind. Like, who knows what that is? And my pillars were crazy. It wasn't marketing, managing, lead selling, and planning. It was like, how do you feel about your revenue goals? What is your confidence and also stress running your business? And I would get on consult calls and I would ask people these questions. They were like, what is this? And I was still able to sign 9 people in that round because I knew that even though I wasn't communicating it in the clearest way possible, I that was good enough and it was good enough to help somebody. And from that, then my mastermind got better the next round and the next round and the next round. And it finally became the amazing program that Six Figure Systems is now. But if you wait to get things, know everything and have everything perfect and set up, you're going to stop yourself from helping people now. And you've got to go feeling messy and knowing that it's going to improve as you go. So those are just about my mindset. Then I have some sales and revenue growth lessons of learning. So, lesson 8 is that one of the things that I see is that high ticket offers, like your coaching offer, is something that needs to create a high impact. So, I think I see a lot of people that are focusing on these. I think that when you think about the size of your audience, a lot of us have seen courses and we've seen like memberships and groups and we're like, okay, that is where I should start. And it's from seeing people's success and where they are now versus thinking about where they began. When you are thinking about your offer, you want to set yourself up for the most amount of success possible. And that means that you want to get fewer sales and make more money. I would recommend for any coaching business and with most businesses, starting with a one on one high ticket offer because you're going to get a higher conversion rate. It's around, you can get up to 70 and 90% conversion rate with one on one coaching, whereas group is around 50 to 70%, and master membership and course is around 20%. So you want to be able to get the highest conversion rate, you want to be able to get the most amount of clients you can from having this set up, and you want to be able to get the most sales that you can. So let's say if you do a group and it's like, I don't know, or like a, let's do it like this. If you have a $500 course membership program, you would have, in order for you to make six figures, you want to make the math work for you. So if you have an offer that's $500, that would take you getting 200 people to say yes to your offer, even if it's just $500 for you to actually make six figures. If you do a group coaching program, that also means that you need to create a curriculum, you need to do all this stuff, and you don't have to, but you could go with it. And then that also, let's say you do $5,000 for a group, that still means you need to hit 20 people to hit a six figure business. Whereas if you just focus on high ticket one on one, and let's say you do $10,000, that means you only need to convert 10 people over the year. That's one client a year, one client a month. And that's so much easier to do. So you want to make sure that you are creating a high ticket offer that has a high impact, a bigger transformation that you're communicating to your clients so that then you can create transformations and then you get results. So then they give you testimonials, they give you referrals and renew. Lesson number 9 is professionals follow up. This I got from a friend of mine, Janae, and I was feeling uncomfortable when people said that they were going to sign up for a webinar, let's say, just for instance, or if somebody decided to sign up for a consult and maybe didn't show, somebody who said that they were a yes on a consult and didn't pay or show up to the first call. And I want you to know that professionals follow up. You are running a business. That is like one of the most important things that you can do. And when you are a professional, I want you to think about showing up like a professional for your clients. Another mini tangent story is that Rob and I are getting married next year, and we have a wedding planner that is going to meet with us. And one of the three that we're meeting with, it was a form, and I didn't get the information from the form for her. It was a different email that I was expecting to see. So it was like contact submission was like the title of the email versus like book your consult with this wedding planner. And I missed it. But I really wanted to meet with her. So I had to go back and look through my emails, and it's been a journey, but I'm still going to meet with her. But it was one of those things that like I would really appreciate it if I putting the effort in to get the consult. Let's follow up with people. Actually make sure you show up for them because you are a professional and that is your responsibility as a business owner. So you want to make sure that you're actually showing up consistently and actually asking people, hey, like, did you want to get on that consult? Okay. After you go to that webinar, I want to make sure you know that you can join my program. There's a bonus ending on Friday, something like that. So that is professionals follow up is lesson 9. Lesson 10 is sell solutions, not features. This is a huge thing that I see so many people do is I see people that are talking about like 6 months of coaching. When I'm talking about six-figure systems, I'm not talking about, hey, are you super excited to show up for 2 hours every week? No, most people aren't like delighted to hear that. I share about that when I was like giving a little promo earlier. But when I'm on a sales call, when I'm on a consult call with people, I am talking on mostly about the solutions, how having a marketing calendar is going to and being able to batch is going to create more work-life balance so you can have more time for family over the holidays. I'm talking about how if you don't have anyone in your inbox, how having my managing lead system can have you having a full inbox every day of people you want to work with. I talk about how if you do not have a set sales process, using the sales consultation conversion blueprint is going to be something that is revolutionary. And I've had so many clients that have used it on their first consult call and they get a consult, they sign a client right away just from using this process. And last but not least, if you don't have a specific formula and know exactly how you are bringing in clients, you need my planning process. The CEO operations that I'm going to teach you are going to teach you how to manage your time and your finances in a way that is elevated like a six-figure CEO. So, do you see how I'm talking about I'm talking about the solutions. I'm talking about what it's actually going to create for people, not just the components of your offer. That's really, really important to do in your messaging as well. Another thing that's really important is I want you to think about how you can create urgency and compel people to take action. Mostly, people do not want to do things. Like that's just how the human brain works. We want to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and avoid and conserve energy. So for someone to take action, for you to actually go out of their way, you need to actually compel them to take action with urgency. You want them to think about why is this important and compelling for me right now? I also like to use like limited time offers. Like you have to sign up before November 10th. When you have an enrollment cap or things like that, I also for my clients when they're doing webinars, they have a bonus that they do by Friday. Sign up for a consult by Friday and you're going to be able to join. So I want you to think about like how can you get people excited and entice them so that you compel them to take urgent action. Because no one wants to pay money for something, but when you show people that when you're investing, you're going to be able to get all this amazing stuff. It compels people and they feel like there's this urgency and excitement around your offer. The other thing that's important is also thinking about how you're offering free content within your marketing. And that's something that we talk about within my messaging when we're talking about building out your content calendar, having a way to give value ahead of time. I don't know if you guys have been seeing this on the podcast recently, but I've even been giving like templates and worksheets and things like that so that you can actually see here are the things that are helpful for me to create my business structure and make my business move forward. The next one is knowing your numbers. This is number 13. So, one of the things for me is I know that most of you guys are not tracking your metrics. So, you're not sure about where your conversion rates are, sales calls, revenue. I never knew that I should be doing that. It was just like, yeah, I felt good about sales calls, but I was like, what is my actual conversion rate? How much did I actually make this month? And knowing, like for me, knowing that I was able to hit $300,000 in the first 3 quarters of this year means that I've made $100,000 per quarter. That shows me that something I'm doing is working and I need to replicate it for the future. So you want to be thinking about your business from that bird's eye lens and making them sure the numbers don't mean anything about you. And the number 14 for sales and in this kind of category is I want you to think about asking for your sale with confidence, whether it's on a webinar, whether you're in your story, whether you are in an email, whether it's a call to action on your post. I want you to ask for people to sign up for a consult with confidence. I've seen so many people saying, "Oh, I need to have a freebie and I need to have a website and I need to do all this before I ask for people to book a consult." Not true. You just need to have a link for a consult and how they can pay you. So you want to make sure that within your consults, you're loving them. You are so excited about them. When I think about somebody doing a consult for six figure systems, I am delighted because I know that they are going to be able to see how different their business can be and just knowing that you can truly transform their life just on a consult. So that's number 14. The next phase is marketing and lead generation. So I've got 15 through 21 are the lessons from here. So I want you to think about within your audience, I want you to think about how to show up consistently. I want you to be their shoulder to lean on, the person they are relying on for information. I want you to have that trust factor that they actually see that you're getting results for your clients. And I want people to look forward to your posts. I want them to be excited about it. When I think about showing up consistently for social, email, webinars over the past 4 years that I've had my business, that is one of the reasons why I've been able to make 300K in the past 3 quarters of this year. Another one, number 16, is nurturing takes time. So you want to make sure that you are starting to nurture people. You're building a relationship, and not every single person that's following you or commenting on things, coming to webinars is going to actually work out as a client. But being top of mind, having ways that you can keep in touch with people to make sure you are keeping that interaction with them, being relevant, showing that you actually care is going to help people to feel that value ahead of time. One of the number 17 is a huge one because engagement beats follower count every time. And I'm not talking comments I'm not talking about your reach for your reels. I am talking about actual people in your DMs. How many people are actually engaging with you and having a one-on-one conversation is critical for your sales. Of the people who joined the last round of the mastermind, I had spoken with 7 of 10. That means that we already had a relationship. We had rapport. They knew me, they liked me, and they trusted me on a one on one level. And that is one of the reasons why people sign up to work with me. It's not about how many followers you have. I have 3,000 followers, right? That's not a huge amount of followers. 3,000 followers, and I've made $300,000 just within the first 3 quarters of this year. And I want you to think about for you, when we're thinking about the engagement, I want you to think about how you can interact with people more and keep them up to date on your content and offers. 18, leveraging social proof. My friends, testimonials are everything. 89% of people need to see a testimonial to buy. Now, I don't care if you are sharing a case study that is anonymous. If you've got an amazing video of a client, phenomenal. But having even just like success stories, like I was coaching a client and they got better. You want this too. It's going to build trust and it's going to increase your conversion rate. 19, having strategic partnerships pay off. For me, I've done webinars, I've been a guest on a bunch of podcasts. I've been able to utilize done in-person presentations. That is helpful because you are creating a presence and positioning that you are a leader. People want to follow you, and that is going to help you to sign more people. That is going to help you create more conversion. And it also creates really good conversations. Like when I think about like doing webinars and things like that, it also helps me to bring more clients in. Strategic, oh, that's what I just said. Strategic partnerships paying off, it gets you into new audience and attracts more people's. Freebies are still great. So I'm saying when you're thinking about your business, I do not want you to spend a ton of time making a beautiful worksheet and making a workflow and making this whole automation. No, you don't need to do that, especially when we're thinking about your first six figures. You want to think about how you can give free value in your marketing content, saying like 3 steps. Here's a journal prompt that's helpful. Here is a way that you can think about this. Here's a study I don't know if you knew about. All of that is free value that then you can send to clients that you've been talking to, and that gives you them value ahead of time to see what it's like to work with you before you even work with people. Also, like keeping people, the number 21 is repurposing your content. Man, if I had $1 for every time I told people, hey, just take your post and repurpose it to a reel, and they were like, what? It cannot be that simple. And it can be. People are consuming different content in different platforms in different formats. So when you think about a post, that is a written long form piece of content versus a reel is a video short form piece of content. You want to be thinking about how your audience and people who are amazing potential clients that you could work with, they have both. They're both a part of, they might be readers and they might be watchers, but either way, you're repurposing the content solidifies in your head, hey, this is the right coach for me. This is the right person to work with. I want to make sure I work with them. It's also going to save you a ton of time, which leads me to my next category of systems and productivity. So for you, I want you to think about, of course, as this is the Six Figure Systems podcast, I want you to think about how you can make a system for literally anything and everything. I'm talking about a system for your stories. I'm talking about a system for posting in a Facebook group, a system for what to say to people when you are talking to them in the DMs. It's going to make your life so much easier. When your brain has a routine, it functions so much more effectively, and then you're able to get those things done in a more efficient way, which is critical for you. So you want to make sure you create systems for anything and everything that you can. The next thing, number 23, is working from a calendar instead of a to-do list. I have found that it is extremely, extremely important for you as your business grows, especially at the beginning when you're setting up a bunch of stuff that's like for me, I pretty much have a routine calendar now where I really don't have that many things that pop up. Pretty much everything that I do is something that's a part of my routine. And when I can calendar that out, I get in the flow, I get in a system where I can make sure that like Friday's my content day. So I make all my content on Friday. And that way it makes it a lot easier for me to just like go through versus checking off a to do list. It also ensures that you actually have a time to get these things done, especially when it's just you and your business. If you are a solopreneur, definitely make sure you're working from a calendar because you are running and you are wearing like 50 different hats. So you want to make sure that you have those tasks calendared. And that's one of the reasons why a to-do list isn't as effective, even if it works for a traditional job, because you're running like you have like 8 jobs within one as a solopreneur. Number 24 is that batching saves time. I mentioned this previously, but one of the reasons why I've been able to like go to Paris and like Como this year and do all these amazing things is because I batched my content out. I know what I'm doing an entire month in advance. I have everything scheduled from all of October up into November, and I know what I'm going to be doing. I know what I'm going to be talking about. I even have some ideas going into November to December. So I want you to know that it's going to save you time. It's going to keep you really efficient. It's going to make sure that you don't task switch, that you are going to be able to do all of your content all in one little snippet of time. And then you're not going to be like, okay, I have to write a post every single day. Oh my God. I That's exhausting. I don't know how people do it. Certainly couldn't do it with the amount of travel that I'm doing because if I'm just like waking up and thinking inconsistent, my audience would leave and lose interest. And it would also be something that wouldn't be planned out. So I'm not really thinking about the big picture of my business. Six-figure CEO, you're gonna be thinking about how to not only be efficient and effective, but also how to look big picture. And batching does that. Oh, that's a big one. As you guys know, I have ADHD. I've shared about it previously. And for trying to focus on multiple things at a time is so tempting. My brain always wants to do this. I'll have like so many tabs pulled up. And what I found is I need to reel it in. If I have something on my calendar, I need to honor it. And I show up and I'm like, all right, we're doing the podcast. We are only doing the podcast. I know as I do this podcast, guess what's going to come up? I'm going to be thinking about how to make sure that I create something for you guys to like go follow along with this. I'm also thinking about, oh my gosh, did I actually talk about the mastermind? I need to make sure I update the website. I need to do a post for this. All of those thoughts are going through my head as I'm recording this podcast. And guess what? It's not helping me to get things done. So I will focus on one thing at a time. There's this thing called the Pomodoro method where you set your timer and you do 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And that helps me to like lock it in and stay focused. Last but not least, invest in tools. I invested in coaching that gave me the mindset and the tools to help me. And this is something I know can feel so scary to you guys. I actually went through and I did all of my investments because I know that that's something that like you guys might be thinking about. I was talking with the client today and they're like, yeah, like people make this much money, but how much money did you actually spend? And I want you to know it's very to invest in the beginning of your business because you don't have the tools. You don't know what to do for your business. You also have no confidence because you have no proof of concept that like you can actually get people results. It is a time when you need to invest more than you're making, and that can be so scary if you're coming from a traditional career. So for me, one of the ways that I created safety is I thought about this as my unofficial business MBA. And each year as I was investing, I knew that I was going to make a return on my investment. So for me, I invested 26, I made 15. In 2021, did 51, made 47. In 2022, my first year full time, I did invested $94,000 and I made 120. In 2023, I invested 81 and made 156. In 2024, I invested 78 and I made 310 so far year to date. So in your business, even though you're going to see that you're going to spend more than you're going to make, the sooner that you can invest in tools that support you, the better. Really, like I would not be at all where I am now if I didn't have a coach. And I've had coaching consistently, whether it's like to learn a marketing strategy or to help me with my mindset to see myself as a success. It has been a journey, and I need somebody to hold, not only to give me the tools, but also to hold me accountable and make sure that I'm actually staying on track for my goals, actually going through and doing the things I need to do, and that it makes it way smoother and less overwhelming. The last four tips and lessons I learned as I've made 300K in the first 3 months of this year have to do with client experience and retention. Now, this is something that is never something that is perfect. In all of these things, progress. But for one of me, it's I want to make sure I over deliver for my clients so that they get extra value and they feel so seen, so supported by me. So within my mastermind, I'll give that one-on-one call. Everyone does a one-on-one call with me, Megan Wing. Like I am the person. I'm not doing it yet with a contract coach that's going to be coming, but I want to make sure that they have me in their pocket every single week. I also, for 26 weeks, they are going to be able to have anyone who does the mastermind gets a form that I will track how much money you've made, how many hours you've worked, how you're feeling about the overall organization of your business. And we're going through and I'm going to find out how your confidence in marketing is going, confidence managing leads, which means bringing new people into your business and nurturing your current audience, sales, and planning. And I'm checking on that every single week, along with giving you a private time to ask me anything. You can ask me any question that you have. We also will be celebrating your wins. I'm going to be going through your breakthroughs every week. I want to know what you're implementing every week so you have a new goal every single week. And doing that changes you. As a CEO of your business, having that makes you up level along with really making sure that when you're on the calls, I am writing and I am coaching as you go so that you have the notes to follow along with. You have everything that you need to make sure you're successful and a stream where you can post 24/7. I say that I'll get back to you within a week, but even sooner. And you're going to make sure that you have this amazing support structure to help you scale. So, the over delivering for my clients is critical because it's helped me to create renewals, referrals, and testimonials so that other people know how much it's going to help their business. And I want you to do the same for your clients. I also have had times when I've really learned how to communicate with my clients. For me, one of the things that it's been a learning experience, especially within this year specifically, is not over promising and under delivering. What I mean by that is I would love to respond to every single person every single day and make sure that they get a response as soon as possible. However, I want to under promise and over deliver, which means I say, okay, I will for sure minimally get back to you once a week, but my goal is to get back to you more than that. Having that communication sets people up so that they have the expectation instead of being like, why didn't Megan respond in like 24 hours? That could lead to really unhappy customers. And I've done that before where I'm like, yeah, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I don't have that like time frame. And that leads to really unhappy customers. So, and not that I've had unhappy customers, like, but that's happened when people are like, hey, I thought you'd respond sooner. And so when that happens, I'm like, I just show up and I'm honest and I communicate clearly, hey, this is this is the actual time frame that I know I can for sure get back to you. And that honesty helps people to be like, oh, I get that. Like I understand where you're coming from. And your clients are going to feel that same way with you too. You're going to make sure that you have a clear communication channel and you're making sure that you share that like also within, I don't know if you guys have contracts, you don't necessarily need one, but I have it within my contract so it doesn't get misconstrued. 29 of the 30 lessons. This is a lengthy one, but I think you guys are going to dig it. Your client success is also your success. So for me, when I think about my clients, every time we have an Instagram group where I'm like seeing people's posts and things like that, when people post their webinar script, I am thinking about how can I get this person to six figures? What are the missing pieces? What do I know and what can I see in their business that is making it really something that's difficult for them? When you prioritize your client outcomes, when you're thinking about the way that your clients are getting results, it gets you really creative. I used to have a ton of modules for my group, and I was like, nope, these are really the main five: offer, marketing, sales, managing leads, and planning. If they just have those five things, that is what it takes to get them to six figures. That is what, if you just follow those things, it is statistically inevitable that you hit six figures. So for you, I want you to think about how can you ensure your clients are successful. Another thing that I do is I track my clients' progress. So like in that form every week, and if somebody dips, I've never had it where somebody has gotten worse at marketing, managing leads, planning, or selling ever. There are always dips with learning curves, but it's like nobody has ever done this program and actually been like, yeah, my marketing is definitely worse off because of it. But that are those intangible results are skill sets that you can be tracking for your clients too. So I'm not saying that you have to like also, I'm not saying that you're going to make six figures in 6 months. I think that is unrealistic, but you are going to have the skill set to make six figures in 6 months as your business goes on because you can't control their circumstances, but you can control what you teach them. And that's what you want to be focusing on. And last but not least, feedback is gold. It can feel really uncomfortable to be like, "Ooh, I definitely could have gone that through that better," especially when I love and really want to support my clients so badly. Like I want them to succeed. And I know that I'm not going to do it perfectly every time. But when you ask for open and honest feedback, it can only make you better. And what I like to do is I like to regulate myself and I'm like, okay, I might be hearing that I'm not perfect. Oh, it might be hard to hear that, but it's going to make me so much better as a coach overall. And I know it's going to help you with your clients too. So within your business, if you are focusing on these things, when we're thinking about your mindset, when we're thinking about your sales, your marketing, and your systems and your client's experience, if you're able to prioritize those things, I know that a six figure business is absolutely within your reach. You are capable of helping so many people. And I am so excited to watch you grow and see your business transform just by listening to these things. However, if you want to take this work to the next level, I would also love to help you cross the six figures threshold so much sooner and so much easier with the six figure systems. Really and truly, it is so awesome to have these systems in place. I'm seeing my clients go to Norway and go to Spain and do all these amazing trips because they've got these systems to make sure their business is flowing. And I know that this next quarter, with the holidays, with breaks, if you've got kiddos, with maybe, let's say there are like storms and things like that that might be coming. I want to make sure your business stays consistent. And I know that these systems can help you with that. So, again, mastermind enrollment ends November 10th. Make sure if you have questions, come to the 8 hour work week on November 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Systems week is we're gonna have a break between enrollment and systems week. That week is going to be November 18th, but and goes to the 23rd. And then we'll get started after Thanksgiving on December 4th. So I know that these systems are going to be a game changer for you. I would love to have you join us. So use the link in my bio to get more information. And I cannot wait to see how these 30 lessons help change and mold you over the next couple of weeks.